Este es mi makeup para el día de hoy. ¿Vieron mi manicure? With my makeup on?
Oh, yeah. No, not with makeup. No, I want to have live. Be like, you can do it now. Good morning, chicos. Estamos bien, gracias a Dios. Estoy con mi papi chulo. Míralo, qué hermoso bebé. This is so good, bro. You have a very good content streamer voice.
You're so nice. Thank you.
You can tell when
It's like a
someone
sale.
you can tell when someone forces it, but you it just comes out natural. That's good.
You only for
Wait, you only force nachos, though, you said?
Ando trabajando. Muy buenos días. Dizque trabajando y en el celular. Nosotros apenas vamos para el trabajo. Les quiero leer unas cuantas líneas. ¿Están listos? Are you guys ready? Hello, hello, good morning, Boker Tov, buenos días. I was starting to discover some magic in my origins. However, I still carried a certain heaviness around with me for a long time. I think this happens to many of us when we have painful incidents from our childhoods that we would rather forget. When I went to a therapist after I entered my 30s, one of the most impactful questions she asked me during my 5 years on her couch was, how does it feel to not be yourself? Through our digging, we discovered I had chosen to pursue a lofty status in the church after graduating from Southeastern University in Florida, mainly because I was looking for a place where I can fit in. Clearly, this was a remnant from the discoveries of my childhood. I was now grown up, but I was still wanting to be accepted, welcomed, embraced. Although I didn't feel comfortable with all the church doctrines, I was willing to go along to get along. I would smile a lot when the people around me used words of condemnation to advance the church's conservative orthodoxy against homosexuality. I didn't think gay people were all going to hell, but I didn't want to increase any confrontation. I was staying in fancy suits, driving nice cars, employing a large staff, though to the consternation of my board members, I was taking a modest salary from my ministry that was annually bringing in several millions. I was running around with some of the biggest names in Hollywood and businesses, 32 years old, and calling men like Charlton Heston, James Caan, Vidal Sassoon, and Lee Iacocca. How do you say that? Iacocca. I don't know. My friends, these guys had run out of things to talk about, so they looked at me and asked, "Hey Tim, what's going on with young people?" And I'll hold court for hours, cracking them up with jokes and spell-being stories. When I walked into a party in Beverly Hills, I was usually the only black person in the room, often the only one within miles. Yeah, Prince lived down the road, but usually it was just me. I was allowed in their space because I was charismatic, and they thought I brought them an aura of cool, as if it could rub off on them. Honestly, it felt a lot like high school. I knew in my soul that I wasn't in the place I should be. On the surface, I appeared to be riding high, but inside I felt off. I felt like I was faking. I need some sort of transformation, but I didn't know what that should look like. Not long ago, I took my 89-year-old mother to lunch. She was born in 1931. She likes to go to a diner in the winter, where they still serve the same food they've had on the menu since I was a kid. Whenever we go, she orders the same thing. One time I asked her, "Mom, Don't you want to order something else? She said, no, I know what I like. And then she laughed. I admired her answer. Because she's okay with herself. She's who she is. She doesn't have to apologize or feel like she has to order something different for the sake of pleasing someone else. She knows what she likes. She lived a long time. And been through too much to feel as though she owes anybody anything. It took years for me to start the process of understanding myself. I had to be brave enough to start anew, this time on a foundation of truth. I cannot say it. Spirituality will always be an important part of my life. But I discovered I had many tools in my kit to help people. My standing squarely in front of the mirror and not running away from what I saw, I was able to profoundly change the man I am. I knew I had the gift to heal, to help people through their ailments and their pain, by helping them tap into the power of God. I knew I needed to go towards that power, embracing it, revealing it. That was who I was. I had found the magic. The process of self-discovery is one I have engineered for many of my clients. We are all anointed to some way, gifted by a higher power with a calling. We all are able to access supernatural strengths, to bring about transformation, to make miracles happen for us. But we can't stay closed off and turn our backs on this ability. We have to listen, to slow down and hear what God is telling us. We must have a miracle mentality if we're going to bring transformation into our lives. It's sitting right there in our heads, just waiting for us to reach inside and access it. The time to start is now, right now. Trapped versus stalled. When I talk to people about their lives, I often hear them throw out one of these two words to describe their condition: trapped or stalled. I like to break down these two states of being. I often hear people describe themselves as trapped when I travel around the country and speak to young ladies at the Paul Mitchell schools. In many of the smaller cities of the Midwest, as many as 80% of them might raise their hands if I ask how many of them feel trapped. I'm more likely to hear stalled. When I work with some of my high-powered corporate clients in life coaching sessions, or when people are talking about their careers, we will discuss this in much greater detail in Chapter 7. But being stalled indicates you have reached some sort of plateau. Perhaps you experienced success earlier in your career and your forward or upward momentum seems to have ceased. No more promotions, no more races, no more exciting assignments. You are stuck in the mundane, and you have no idea or plan for how to get out of it. To be trapped is to be confined, to be held, to be kept. To be stalled is to be temporarily not moving. In that sense, stalled is better than trapped, because when you are stalled, you feel like maybe you can get moving again if you get some gas or a push. When you're trapped, you literally can't see a way out of your predicament. If we look at it through the lens of Maslow hierarchy of needs, people who are stalled and those who are trapped are at two very different stages. For those who aren't familiar with the much quoted theory, American psychologist Abraham Maslow formulated a way of looking at human motivation that had much more positive framework than most previous work in the field, which tend to focus on abnormalities and illnesses. Maslow's hierarchy, first published in 1943, suggested that human motivation is focused on the search for fulfillment and change through personal growth, usually constructed on a pyramid. The most elemental needs on the bottom rung are basic and psychological: food, water, sleep, sex, homeostasis, and excretion. See, the next level is safety needs, security, order, health, and stability. The third level is love and belonging. The fourth is esteem, the need to be competent and recognized. Well, we'll continue later on, guys. We've arrived to our work. We're gonna have an amazing day. God loves us all. We are their favorite, his favorite.
Amen to that.
And we're gonna do fucking amazing today.
Let's go. I like how your two personalities come out.
What do you mean?
Because like it was all very.
Thank
That's a
you.
little too close, huh? Hold on.
That's okay.
It was very like
I closed it.
Cool.
It was very what?
Well, you need to open.
Venimos llegando al trabajo. Hoy nos tocó un día lluvioso, está lindísimo el clima. Miren mi outfit, me siento súper linda. Miren el Bryson, mi baby todo guapote. Espero que todos tengan un día muy bendecido. Nosotros venimos llegando al trabajo, nos va a ir increíble. Que Diosito me los bendiga. Les mando muchos besos, muchos abrazos y mucha energía positiva. O algo increíble les va a pasar todos hoy. Que Diosito me los bendiga, me los llene de mucho amor y que todos sus deseos se les hagan realidad. Los quiero, bendiciones, chicos.